It's a real revolution in terms of investment banking and finance in general. We'll unfortunately see the consequences of a lack of control, of anarchy. There will be scams. There will be plenty of people who run around and defraud people because they know they can. I think this is going to be one of the great fun challenges to explore. If we can accomplish that by 2030, I think that the cryptocurrencies will have become the greatest innovation of the last 500 to 1,000 years.
Ladies and gentlemen, drum roll please. Alright bro, let's talk about what we're talking about in this video. Who are you? Why should you be watching this video? Okay, well I'm gonna tell you, okay? If you've ever held $1 in your hand or any fiat currency, this video is for you. If you've ever done human things, like, you know, go to McDonald's and bought a burger, this video is for you, okay? Because the topics that we're talking about is gonna be more disruptive than internet. And you might have heard of internet. I don't know if you have, you know, it's only like 50% of the global population has it, but the internet changed everything, right? So imagine another type of industry that will create something that is more disruptive than that. So with that being said, what we're going to talk about, Cardano, one of the top 10 cryptocurrencies in the world in terms of global market cap, and why I think that it's going to be truly leading the crypto revolution. What is it going to be doing this year, 2021? What is it going to be doing 5 years out, 10 years out in the future? If you are considering getting into cryptocurrencies or any, let me make sure I'm not muted, bro. Okay, good. If you're considering getting into any cryptocurrencies, investing, you can literally get involved in this as an investor long term. Don't be caught in the short term stuff like other people are. You can literally look 10 years out in the future and you'll be a part of this movement, this crypto revolution. So without further ado, the next thing we're going to talk about is, okay, well, you're saying cryptocurrencies will disrupt. Disrupt what? Like, sure, the ship is sailing pretty quickly, right? But what direction is it heading? Let's talk about it, y'all. I'm actually gonna let my man Charles Hoskinson talk about it, who is one of them. He's actually been in the crypto space for around a decade. So if there's anybody eligible to talk about cryptocurrencies, it's my boy Charles Hoskinson.
With all of this, I think in the next 5 years, we're going to see a lot of nation states, their central banks, take positions in cryptocurrencies. I think we're going to see a lot of countries start issuing their own cryptocurrencies. So the CBDC area is going to get very sexy and hot, and there's going to be significant competition from the BIS. And that's a great thing for all of us. I also think people are going to start having a more nuanced conversation about the representation and storage of wealth. We generally look at people and say, that person's a millionaire or a billionaire. We measure that wealth in the national unit of account. This is how much yen they have. This is how many dollars they have. For example, we have the Forbes rich list, and it shows you all these people, and they have their pictures, who they are, what they've done, and how much they're worth in dollars. What our industry is doing is transforming the entire concept of wealth representation to a portfolio. Instead of saying, I have X dollars, you'll have a basket, and that basket will have tokens, and those tokens will be fluid. So when you go to Starbucks, when you go to McDonald's, when you go to Walmart, when you go to your local store or restaurant and buy something, one day, maybe 5 years, maybe 10 years, but this is inevitable. One day, you'll use your cell phone or some digital device or payment card that's programmable. You'll tap it, and you pay in the instrument of value you want to pay in. And they get paid in the instrument of value they want to get paid in. So maybe it's a European cafe, and they get paid in euros. And guess what? You could have paid in airline miles, or you could have paid in Pokemon cards that are now NFTs. You could have paid in fractional reserve of your house. You could have paid in tokenized gold. You could have paid in tokenized silver. And somewhere along the way, there's these amazing rails that are going to be running that handle all the tokenomics. They handle the decentralized market making. They handle the liquidity. And it's an instant transaction. And they get exactly what they want, when they want it, where they want it, how they want it.
All right, so let me tell you this way, okay? This man has been in the crypto space since the beginning. 10 years, right? He's saying that it's inevitable. And this is just one aspect of the type of change we're seeing when it comes to the potential of cryptocurrency. He's saying that you're going to be able to go to your local, I don't know how long this is going to be from now, but you're able to go to your local, let's say, Chick-fil-A. I love me some chicken sandwiches, bruh. So you're going to be able to go to Chick-fil-A, and let's say Dogecoin is still around 5 years from now. I'm going to be able to pay, oh shoot, I left my cash at home, let me pay in Dogecoin. That's just one aspect of it. And of course, that's not going to impact the other business, because there's going to be a system that allows you to put Dogecoin into that system, and then the system spits out whatever currency that business wants. So that's just one level of it. And that would affect everybody at scale. And that's only like a small portion of what cryptocurrency is capable of. So, just to paint the sort of picture that we have here. So what does that have to do with who is this guy? Who is Charles Hoskinson, y'all? Who is this dude? So he's the CEO of Input Output Hong Kong, which is one of the organizations that pretty much works on Cardano, which is the cryptocurrency that we're talking about in this video, y'all. And what we're going to talk about next is what exactly is Cardano and what is it doing in 2021. Well, first we should talk about what has it been doing the past few years. All right. So this is the Cardano roadmap. Let me highlight that for y'all. This is the Cardano roadmap, and we're gonna look at what the Byron era was. This was around 2015, with a vision of addressing the 3 strategic challenges of facing. I'm actually gonna move the screen a little bit so y'all can actually move my webcam as well. All right. So in 2015, I believe that was when, by the way, Charles Hoskinson is the founder of Cardano. So he left Ethereum and was like, yo, there's a bunch of problems with Ethereum. I'm going to start my own cryptocurrency. In 2015, he did this, and he wanted to solve the problems that faced the entire crypto space. Let me highlight it here. Scalability, interoperability, and sustainability. Now, I'd be lying to you if if I told you that I 100% understood what interoperability meant. But in terms of scalability and sustainability, I have a basic level understanding of in what context that is. So Ethereum, right? Ethereum was the first mover when it came to, so the way that somebody actually pictured it, the way that Charles Hoskinson describes it, there's 3 generations of cryptocurrency. You can kind of think of it like the data on your phone. First generation, second generation, third generation. There's a first generation to cryptocurrency or blockchain technology, which was Bitcoin. Bitcoin came around and said, hey, how do we create a system, or is it possible to be able to send money from me to Bob over there digitally without having a middle person involved, like a bank, or if you want to send money to somebody in the Philippines, whoever gets involved there, without needing that middle person. Is that possible? Bitcoin proved that it was. And so let me actually switch the screen here a little bit. Bitcoin proved that was possible. That was the first generation of cryptocurrency. The next generation, people started asking questions like, well, are we able to start using this and implementing it with things other than money? Like, the thing that I'm thinking about right now is smart contracts, which is like something that Charles said was, if I want, okay, I will pay you $100, but only if you mow my lawn. If you mow my lawn. So are we able to do that? Ethereum proved that, but there were some problems with Ethereum. As you can see here, I'm actually going to pull up CoinMarketCap here. Ethereum is the second most valuable cryptocurrency in the world. It has a market cap of 200 billion. 200 billion, y'all. That rivals some countries. And so what does that mean? It doesn't mean that it's perfect, but it does mean that there's going to be a lot of people there. A lot of people, a lot of value being transferred. And when you have a lot of value and a lot of money, you want it to hopefully be a pretty close to perfect system, as close to perfect as it possibly can be. And so where am I getting at here? The problems that Ethereum has. If you try to do something basic, buy something, buy an NFT, that's going to cost you a $100 fee. And that's for every single transaction. And there's also the fact that it's not meant for the amount of people that are using it. Like, it's pretty slow. And so the solution was supposed to come this year, but Ethereum delayed it. And so all of the few years of research that Cardano has been putting in to the research part of it, it's all coming into fruition in 2021. Let me let my man Charles Hoskinson explain it himself.
And now we are heading towards what's called the Alonzo phase. And so what Alonzo does is it takes this foundation, extended UTXO, which is partially already in the code base, and adds it all in, and then puts this beautiful Plutus platform on top of Cardano. Okay. And here's kind of a timeline of how that works. So first off, it has to be integrated into the ledger and node code. That's the heart of Cardano. Then the wallet sits on top of it, then Daedalus. Okay. So what's occurring right now, all throughout March and all throughout April, is that integration into the node to get a CLI. Now, as that integration is happening, sprint by sprint, partners are being brought in. Then after that happens, we'll be able to, at the end of April, early May, to launch an Alonzo testnet, which means for the first time ever publicly, people will be able to write smart contracts and deploy them on Cardano. And to see something that started as a dream slowly come together and turn into something like this is extraordinary.
You might be thinking, well, it took Cardano how many years to pull out smart contracts? What makes it different? What makes it special? And what makes it a worthy competitor to Ethereum? The best way I can kind of explain it, I don't have the exact details, but I believe that Ethereum worked out. There was some type of process where Ethereum was... Okay, let me go to another example. Let me explain what he was talking about there. So the Alonzo testnet, basically think about it where if you had I don't know how accurate this is, but if you had an iPhone, right, and that iPhone didn't have any apps, it didn't have any products on it, you couldn't do anything besides look at your wallet, your Yoroi wallet, which has all of your ADA tokens on it. That's the only thing you can do on Cardano right now. You might be looking at the value of Cardano. It's like, well, it has $38 billion in it. What have they exactly done in the past few years? That's surface level. That's surface level. The entire forefront of their research efforts is all going into 2021. Everything's leading up to what's going to happen in the Alonzo hard fork, which will allow people to actually start developing apps, y'all. And the reason they're taking a slow approach is because they don't want to mess up. Like, think about the disadvantage that Ethereum is at right now. They have all of these problems on this giant network that millions of people are using, and billions of dollars in value is being stored, transferred, and it's taking them years just to get out this update that's supposedly supposed to fix everything. Now I'm speaking out of my ass on that aspect. I don't know much about Ethereum when it comes to their team and their, Vitalik and their hard work. I'm sure they're working hard, but they're at a severe disadvantage when it comes to Cardano, who spent years of research and effort. They've developed this strong community. If you look up Cardano community on Twitter, they have a strong that's Cardano community, Cardano Live, Cardano Foundation. These are just the accounts. 300 tweets in the last hour. That's pretty good for a network with no product yet. And so when people start developing stuff and start testing out things, obviously it's not going to be perfect, but this is the beta version. Developers are going to come on here and be like, oh, are we going to be able to use it for this and this? And then the people developing Cardano are going to be like, I didn't think about that. And then it's going to be this teamwork process where if we go to where this map shows us, we are in here, March and April. Once we go to this beta version, this entire test net is going to be us learning and preparing for the Alonzo hard fork and allowing Cardano to really be able to compete with Ethereum. Which, by the way, Ethereum has a market cap of about 200 billion. I don't know if you've heard of it. So that's just 2021, y'all. We haven't even talked about 2025. What's Cardano's mission long term? What are they planning to do? And I made a video about their mission. You can find it on my channel. You can think about it, how they're going to change the world in the long term. So if you're one of the people who also want to get involved in Cardano long term, let me show you a few things about. So here's a video where Charles Hoskinson talks about, not only is he laying out like, okay, this is what we've done, this is what we're doing just in 2021 alone, he also is letting us know, like, and communicating with us like, hey, we're also thinking about 2025. They are long-term thinkers, bro. I mean, shoot, let me just share with y'all some of the things that they talk about in this video, which took me a couple hours just to process everything that's in this video. It's a 30-minute video, and it's saying, the title of it is Some Musings About the Roadmap. Bro, this is so much information just condensed in 30 minutes, bro. This is pretty much like the past few years, along with where they're headed in by 2025, all condensed into 30 minutes. And so I what exactly, there's some few points here that I can just talk about. All right, so here he says, we spent a few years thinking about whether or not proof of stake would actually work, which is the system that, Ethereum jumped into. Ethereum, they kind of jumped into it. And, the approach that Cardano takes, I'm a pretty big fan of it, because the way they approach it is so different. They take it, and basically what they started doing is asking, like, okay, do we even know what a ledger is? Do we? And they started asking basic fundamental questions to cryptocurrency, and they did that and they wrote a paper on it. And then they said, hey, let's get the academics involved, the smart people, the colleges, the professors, the scientists. Let's take this paper, share it to them, and let them share with us what their thoughts are. And then they did that once, they did that twice, they did that 5 times, they did that 10 times, and they did that over 100 times so far in the past 4 months. So basically, I'm trying to share with y'all, like, this is, they're patient. In the crypto space, a lot of it is fast moving. Everybody wants short term, now. So why should we care about what's happening in 2025 for Cardano? Because if Cardano is the forefront leader, if Cardano is going to be the system that leads the entire cryptocurrency space, I wouldn't say leads the entire of it, but it's one of the main forerunners, if that's a word. I don't know. If Cardano is winning that race, they better get it right. They better be doing things right, almost perfectly, and make sure they're actually moving in the right direction, instead of just like, yeah, we're winning this race. You're headed the opposite direction, bro. What are you doing? No, Cardano is focused on the long term. And I just wanted to share with y'all, like, this entire 30-minute video, which you can check out, and I have some notes.
And then you also,
I have some notes. I can definitely drop it if you are interested, on this 30-minute video where I talk about, I'm gonna just share with y'all some of the points that he brings up. So I'm actually gonna show the slide that has all of the words that I don't understand. And actually, no, fuck that. Let's just talk about the first point he talked about, which was the Omega paper. Omega, what was it called? Fuck, man. Ouroboros. We had Ouroboros Genesis. We had Ouroboros. All of these different Ouroboroses, white papers and stuff. Blah blah blah. We had side chains, which I still don't really understand. Developing dApps with Prism and Hydra. We had quantum resistance in 2025, which, by the way, I made a video about it, a threat to crypto. You can definitely check that out. All of these different things that they are looking at, Cardano is looking at, all condensed in a 30-minute video, which I just wanted to share with y'all, to share that, hey, they're looking in the future. And the best way I can kind of like share with y'all the way I think about it, just like a little mental exercise to show that, okay, let me share with y'all the history of the crypto space from my basic, very limited understanding, and I could be speaking out of my butt, but let's start from the beginning. It was 2011. It was 2012. Vitalik was like, hey, we need smart contracts. And so they had $18 million ICO. And they accelerated on forward in the crypto industry. That's pretty good, man. Boom. They get hit with a bunch of problems. They get hit with some problems. There's some problems in the blockchain in terms of, hey, if we have a lot of usage in the blockchain all at once. In 2017, there was a huge problem with CryptoKitties. There was a lot of hype around that, and it completely halted the network. And so Vitalik was like, all right, let's figure out an ETH layer 2 solution. Let's figure out an update that'd be able to fix this. And so they're kind of like pedaling along. By the way, I kind of skipped a few years, but in between the ICO, the beginning, I should start with what was the first problem that they faced. The first problem that they faced, the founders, there was like 8 founders of Ethereum, and they had basic disagreements of which direction they should be heading. Should they be heading here or here or here? So all of the founders pretty much split up, and I wouldn't say all of them, that's an over exaggeration. And one of the founders, Charles Hoskinson, comes around with Cardano. Now, what is Cardano doing in this point? They're asking fundamental questions. Do we even know what a ledger is? They're going to scientists, academics, and they're being taken seriously. They're going to countries and actually getting to know people and different perspectives of how blockchain technology can be implemented, and doing a bunch of research, blah blah blah. Ethereum, oh, here, let me move it up a little bit. Ethereum's moving pretty quickly, man. Like, a lot of things being built on it because it is one of the first of its kind, but it's kind of all over the place. It's kind of, a bunch of people using the app, kind of just dealing with the gas fees, dealing with all of the issues that it has, and it gets hit with another problem, which I talked about previously: CryptoKitties. If there's a bunch of people using the network all at once, there's a strong chance that it's just gonna get hit with it's gonna be stuck. If you have a bunch of people on the Ethereum network, how reliable is it? How sustainable is it? You gotta look at it from that perspective. If I'm a business, why would I build things on this network that, if there's a lot of people using it at once, it's not even guaranteed to work? Like, think about it. If I want to use Google, I want to make sure that it's reliable. If I want to use Amazon Web Services, I want to make sure that my website's not going to crash every now and then, or at least it's going to be a reliable thing. Meanwhile, Cardano's coming in. This is just a mental exercise, y'all. Meanwhile, Cardano is slowly approaching. If we look at the roadmap here, we can see that some of the things that it has done in 2015, 2017, it's building a community. It's developing a bunch of research efforts. And soon we go on to the Shelley era. What exactly am I talking about? The Shelley era, that was actually pretty recently, y'all. 2020 June, I believe. That was the process that they started. That was when they started the Shelley era. And decentralization is very important to many people in cryptocurrency, because at the end of the day, that's where Bitcoin first started, bringing up the problem and the issues of, hey, why should we rely on trust when we can see everything on this ledger over here? But anyway, it made some good progress. 2020 to 2021, years and years of research. I think Ethereum's getting caught up here. We just heard about the delay in the update for the Ethereum layer 2 solution, and so they're not moving, y'all. They have millions of dollars being funded into them, billions of dollars of people, NFTs, hype all around Ethereum. But at the end of the day, which direction are we heading? At the end of the day, the Cardano family is coming in with years and years of research and continuous development. Who is gonna win? Is Ethereum gonna get stuck? And who's gonna win long term? In the long term, that's what I'm trying to say, y'all. The cryptocurrency space is still very new, and the way that Cardano is approaching it, in a slow and steady way, I think that's what's gonna win long term. And so I don't know how ridiculous this turtle and the hair thing was. I don't know how ridiculous that little analogy was, but hopefully y'all enjoyed. Hopefully y'all learned a little bit of something. Hopefully I provided some value, and hopefully you would subscribe if you want to learn about some projects, some companies out there who will have a positive impact in the world and how you can invest in them. With that being said, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye.